The alien general had been lying on the black sand for 3 days when a human found him. His massive armored body was half buried in ash, his once glowing insignia cracked and dull. One of his 4 arms was twisted at an unnatural angle. His breathing came in slow, painful gasps that fogged the cold air. He had commanded fleets. He had conquered star systems. He had watched entire civilizations kneel. And now, his own people had left him to die. The dead world stretched endlessly around him. A broken planet, stripped of life by orbital bombardment and abandoned after the war. The sky was a permanent gray, choked with dust storms. The ground still radiated faint heat from ancient impacts. He had known this was how it would end. Then the footsteps started. Slow, careful, crunching against scorched rock. The alien general's remaining eye widened. No scavenger moved like that. No predator approached that openly. A shadow fell over his broken body. A human stood there. The general's throat vibrated weakly as he forced out words in broken galactic common. Kill me and be done with it. The human stared down at him for a long moment. His armor was scratched. His visor was cracked. His rifle hung loosely at his side. Then the human spoke. No, the alien generals. I twitched in confusion. No, he rasped. The human knelt beside him. I'm not here to kill you, the human said. I'm here to get you out. The alien general let out a hollow, bitter sound that might have been laughter. They left me, he whispered. My own fleet. My own command. I'm a burden now. The human tightened his jaw. Then they're idiots. Hours earlier, Lieutenant Aaron Cole had been sent on what command called a routine salvage recon. In reality, it was exile. The war between the Galactic Coalition and the Vrax Dominion had ended 2 weeks ago. Humans had fought on the Coalition's side. Harder than anyone expected. Too hard. The Coalition didn't trust humans anymore. Aaron's dropship had been sent alone to the dead world designated KX-417. No escort. No support. Scan the ruins. Recover any tech. Avoid contact, command had told him. Which really meant, if you don't come back, no one will ask why. Aaron powered down his ship and stepped onto the scorched surface. Atmosphere breathable. Radiation low. Planet officially dead, his suit AI said. Figures, Aaron muttered. He began moving through the ruins of what had once been a Vrax outpost. Broken towers. Melted landing pads. Burn marks still visible from plasma strikes. That was when his scanner pinged. Life sign detected, the AI announced. Aaron froze. Say again. Single life sign. Faint. Non-human. Approximately 300 meters northeast. Aaron hesitated. Coalition protocol was clear. Do not assist Vrax survivors. They were the enemy. They had slaughtered human colonies. Burned civilian worlds. Executed prisoners. He raised his rifle and started walking toward the signal anyway. Yeah, he said quietly. Screw protocol. The alien general barely remembered collapsing. He had been evacuating wounded soldiers when the final coalition strike hit the outpost. He had ordered his remaining fleet to retreat. They had obeyed. They had left him behind. The pain in his body burned constantly. His blood had soaked into the sand and dried black. He had accepted death until the human arrived. The human pressed a small medical scanner against the alien's armored chest. You're lucky, the human said. Your heart organs are still stable. I'm not lucky, the general whispered. I am dishonored. The human snorted. Buddy, where I come from, you're called a survivor. The alien general stared at him. You are human, he said slowly. Your kind should hate me. Aaron met his gaze through the cracked visor. I do, he said honestly. Then he activated his medkit. But I don't leave people to die. The alien hissed as painkillers flooded his system. Why? He asked weakly. Aaron's voice softened. Because someone once saved me when they shouldn't have. The dust storm rolled in fast. Dark clouds swallowed the horizon. Aaron cursed. Great timing. He deployed a portable shield emitter over the alien's body. Storm's gonna last a few hours, he said. You still with me, big guy? The alien general's voice was faint. My name is Kaler, first war general of the Vrax Dominion. Aaron blinked. You're kidding. Kaler's eye flickered. I commanded the 3rd Invasion Fleet. Aaron slowly stood. That fleet destroyed my home colony. Silence fell between them. Kaler closed his eye. Then you should leave me, he whispered. Aaron clenched his fists. For a long moment, he considered it. Then he knelt again. Yeah, he said quietly. I should. He injected another stabilizer. But I'm not going to. Kaler opened his eye in shock. You make no sense, human. Aaron gave a bitter smile. Welcome to humanity. The storm held around them. Sand battered the shield. Aaron activated his comm unit. Command, this is Cole. I found a survivor. High value. Injured. Static. Then a cold voice. Identify species. Vrax. A pause. Then, terminate and continue salvage. Aaron stared at the comm. Say that again. Coalition policy. Do not extract Vrax personnel. Aaron shut off the comm. He looked down at Kaler. They want me to kill you. Kaler let out a slow breath. I told you. Aaron reached down and began attaching lift harnesses to Kaler's armor. Yeah, he said. They could go to hell. Kaler's eye widened. You will be executed for this. Aaron grinned grimly. Wouldn't be my first time pissing off an empire. As the storm raged, a human soldier prepared to defy the entire galaxy. And an alien general realized something terrifying. Humans were nothing like the story said. The alien General Kaler groaned as the shield hummed over his battered body. The storm raged relentlessly, but he could feel the human's presence, steady, determined, and somehow unervingly calm. It was unsettling. No one had ever stayed by his side when death waited around every corner. Aaron Cole adjusted the harness straps around Kaler's armor. The human's hands were steady, his movements precise. He had trained for situations like this, but the stakes were higher than any training exercise. One wrong move, and the general could slip from life to dust. Tell me again why you're doing this, Kaler muttered, voice strained but sharp with disbelief. Aaron looked up at him, visor cracked, but eyes clear. Because someone saved me when they shouldn't have. And I don't leave anyone to die. The alien's breathing rattled. He wanted to argue, to remind Aaron of the countless humans his kind had slaughtered. But there was no energy left in him, no fight left in his body. Only the human's words echoed in his mind, challenging everything he thought he knew about the species he despised. Hours passed. The storm showed no mercy, howling around the pair as they fought against wind, sand, and pain. Aaron carried Kaler across the uneven terrain, each step deliberate, each breath synchronized with the alien's shallow rhythm. At one point, Kaler's eye flickered open. Where are we going? He rasped. Aaron paused. Somewhere safe. At least as safe as this dead rock can be. The alien snorted a weak, humorless sound. Safe. Do humans even know the meaning of that word? Aaron didn't answer. He didn't have to. The alien would understand soon enough. Safety was a concept humans fought for, sometimes against every rule, every law, every expectation. Survival wasn't always about strategy. Sometimes it was about refusing to give up. As night fell, the world turned a deeper shade of gray. Sandstorms lit by distant lightning created ghostly shadows across the landscape. Aaron lowered Kaler into a small depression in the ground, shielding him as best he could. The alien general's armor was scorched, bent, and broken, but still intact enough to protect him from the worst of the storm. You make no sense, Kaler murmured, voice barely audible over the storm. Aaron shook his head, checking the medkit again. Humans rarely make sense. We don't always follow rules, but we do what's right when it counts. The alien turned his gaze to the human's face, or what he could see of it behind the visor. There was a confidence there, a certainty that Kaler had not seen in any of his own kind. Even among the Vraks, leaders sometimes hesitated, sometimes abandoned soldiers. Humans, it seemed, could defy entire orders for the sake of one life. The night dragged on. Aaron kept watch, adjusting shields and stabilizers, constantly monitoring the alien's vitals. He could feel the strain in his own muscles, but he refused to rest. Every pause was a risk. Every second mattered. By dawn, the storm had lessened. The horizon showed faint streaks of light. Aaron scanned the landscape. There was movement, small, distant, but definite. Scouting drones, likely Vrax remnants checking for survivors. Kaler shifted slightly, groaning with the effort. "Stay down," Aaron whispered. He activated a camouflage generator that bent light and radar around them. "We're not a target if they can't see us." Kaler's breathing hitched. "You risk everything for me?" Aaron's hand paused over the controls. "Everything. You'd do the same for me if the roles were reversed. And don't pretend otherwise." The alien general's eye narrowed. He wanted to argue, to insist that humans were too fragile, too reckless, too limited. But watching the human, seeing the unwavering determination in his movements, he understood that the universe might have underestimated them all along. Hours passed with Aaron moving Kaler from one cover to another, always vigilant. By mid-afternoon, they reached a canyon that provided natural shelter. The storm had mostly dissipated, leaving behind a landscape scorched and scarred, yet eerily silent. Aaron lowered Kaler onto the canyon floor. "We rest here. Short sleep, then we move." Kaler stared up at the alien gray sky. "You are not like the others," he said finally, voice raw with fatigue. Aaron smirked faintly. "And you will find, Kaler, that humans are nothing like the stories say." The alien general closed his eye, exhaustion overwhelming him. But for the first time in days, he felt a flicker of hope, small, fragile, but undeniable. The human had proven something that no one else could, that in a galaxy filled with betrayal and fear, one life could still mean everything. As night approached again, Aaron set up a small thermal shield and medkit station. He prepared for the next leg of the journey. Somewhere ahead, a drop zone or a ship, he didn't know yet. But Kaler's survival depended entirely on human persistence now. And persistence, it seemed, was their defining trait. The alien general, broken yet alive, realized a terrifying truth. Humanity was not to be underestimated. Their resilience, their morality, and their refusal to abandon life, no matter the cost, made them a force unlike any other. And the human beside him would make sure he survived to see it. Kaler woke to the sound of soft mechanical humming. For a moment, he thought he was dead. Then pain rushed back into his body, slow and heavy, like molten metal flowing through his veins. He let out a low groan. Aaron was crouched beside him, adjusting a portable power cell connected to the thermal shield. "Easy," the human said quietly. "You're still in one piece." "Mostly." Kaler's eye flickered open. "You are still here," he murmured. Aaron smirked faintly. "Last I checked." Kaler tried to move one of his arms and hissed in pain. "Do not attempt heroics," Aaron said. "You're held together by meds, stubbornness, and bad decisions. Mostly mine." Kaler let out a weak breath that might have been laughter. "You should have left me." Aaron didn't answer right away. He handed Kaler a hydration tube. "Drink. Your blood chemistry is a mess." Kaler hesitated, then accepted it. The liquid was bitter and cold, but it eased the burning in his throat. Why do you still remain? Kaler asked quietly. Aaron looked out toward the canyon mouth. Because if I leave you, you die. And I don't do that. Hours passed. Aaron helped Kaler upright with the lift harness. Step by careful step, they moved through the canyon. The silence of the dead world pressed down on them. Suddenly, a shadow moved across the ridge. Kaler froze. What? Aaron crouched lower. Stay close. A figure emerged from the storm. Sleek, tall, with glimmering violet eyes and a long braided crest sweeping down her back. She carried a plasma blade and wore lightweight armor marked with alien insignias. Kaler's remaining eye widened. Who is she? The alien girl paused, scanning them both with sharp precision. Her gaze lingered on Kaler's broken body and then shifted to the human. You are alive, she said in a voice sharp but controlled. After the strike, everyone thought you were gone. Kaler's jaw clenched. I am Kaler, first war general of the Vrax Dominion. The girl's eyes flickered with recognition. Kayla, you survived. Her voice softened slightly, almost regretful. I thought the humans finished you. Aaron raised a hand. We don't have time for introductions. Are you friend or foe? The girl's violet gaze met his. She didn't lower her weapon, but her stance shifted. Neither. Yet. Kaler tried to speak, but could barely manage a whisper. She is my sister. Commander Salira. Aaron blinked. Sister. Salira studied him carefully. You saved him. Aaron nodded. I don't leave anyone to die. Salira's expression flickered between suspicion and something else. Curiosity, maybe even respect. She finally lowered her blade slightly. You are human, she said softly, and you choose to save Vrax? Aaron met her gaze. If I left him, would you be here now? Kaler's breathing hitched, struggling between exhaustion and the shock of seeing his sister alive. Salira extended her hand. Then I will help you. But understand, if he dies, I will not forgive it. Aaron gave a small grin. Deal. Let's move. The three of them navigated the canyon as dusk fell. Sandstorms still raged in the distance, but with Salira's keen instincts and Aaron's determination, they avoided patrols and hazardous terrain. As night came, they reached the ruins of a collapsed communications tower. Aaron checked the antenna. Power core's dead, but the antenna might still work. Salira knelt beside Kaler. We can stabilize him here for the night, she said softly, gently applying alien medical nanogel to his wounds. Kaler watched his human companion and his sister working together. He realized, with a mixture of pride and disbelief, that humans, this one human, were far more resourceful and resilient than his own kind had imagined. Aaron looked at Salira. You're not going to attack me? Salira shook her head. No, for now, you are necessary. Kaler exhaled. I never thought I would see my people's honor preserved through a human. Aaron smiled faintly. Welcome to humanity. And for the first time in weeks, the alien general felt a flicker of hope. Not just because he was alive, but because humans and Vrax could, in rare moments, defy expectation together. Night had fully descended. The ruins of the collapsed communications tower were shadowed under the dim starlight, jagged and quiet. Aaron adjusted the portable thermal shield, careful to keep Kaler stable. Salira moved alongside him, her violet eyes scanning every ridge and crevice. You will rest now, she commanded, gently lowering Kaler to the ground. Her tone left no room for argument. Aaron hesitated. I should. No, Salira said firmly. If you push too hard, he dies, and I will not allow it. Aaron gave a small nod. He had come to trust her judgment, even if he didn't fully understand her culture. Kaler's breathing slowed, shallow but steady. You are strong, he murmured. Both of you. Aaron smirked. And stubborn. Salira allowed herself a faint smile, but it was tight. Strength alone does not save. Wisdom does. Strategy does. And sometimes patience. Aaron glanced at her. Patience? You're standing over a dying warrior with a human helping you. That's patience. Salira's eyes flickered, almost amused. It is measured differently among my kind. I have waited for centuries for honor to return, for leaders to survive and adapt. You humans, you arrive unexpectedly, but you teach lessons nonetheless. Kaler's gaze softened, filled with a mixture of pride and astonishment. His sister was alive. He was alive. And somehow, through this human, they might survive the night. The wind howled against the tower's jagged edges. Aaron pulled out a small data pad and began scanning for any remaining Vrax patrols in the sector. Salira crouched beside him. I can sense them. 3 in the distance. Light reconnaissance units. They're methodical, but predictable. Aaron nodded. Predictable is good. That means we can avoid them, or fight if we have to. Kaler's lips twitched in a weak, wry smile. Do humans always involve themselves in chaos? Aaron's eyes met his. Only when someone's life depends on it. Salira's gaze softened, studying Aaron. You are different. Most humans would have abandoned him hours ago. Yet you persist. Why? Aaron looked at Kaler, then back at Salira. Because someone once refused to abandon me, and I won't make the same mistake twice. Kaler's chest rose and fell, slow and heavy. For the first time, he understood what humans valued. Loyalty beyond expectation, courage beyond reason. Hours passed. Salira moved silently among the shadows, setting traps and monitoring the terrain. She whispered instructions to Aaron, who followed without hesitation. The human's determination impressed her, but his recklessness occasionally caused her to grit her teeth. At one point, a patrol drone swept the canyon. Its scanning light passed dangerously close to them. Salira froze, holding Aaron's arm. Do not move, she whispered. They will pass. Trust me. Aaron's pulse thumped his chest, but he obeyed. The drone's lights swept over them, then vanished into the distance. Kaler, still weak, could only watch and marvel. His human companion and sister, both from worlds he had considered incompatible, were working together seamlessly. By dawn, the first light illuminated the canyon floor. Aaron was bruised, bleeding slightly from the shoulder wound, but alive. Salira guided him to a narrow ridge that overlooked a natural canyon pass. This is the safest route, she said. From here, we can reach a neutral zone. Fewer patrols, more cover. If we move carefully, we might survive the day. Kaler tried to rise again. I can manage. Salira shook her head. No, you rest. Aaron carries you. We move together as one unit. Understood. Kaler exhaled, acknowledging the command. It was foreign to him, yet it felt right. Aaron hefted him once more, adjusting the harness. Let's go, he said. As they moved, Kaler's mind wandered. He had spent his life surrounded by hierarchy, protocol, and orders. Yet here at the edge of death, he realized humans had a philosophy his people lacked. The value of a single life over strategy. The courage to act against all odds. Salira's hand brushed against Kaler briefly as she adjusted his armor. A small gesture, almost imperceptible, but Kaler felt a flicker of warmth he hadn't expected. Aaron glanced at the exchange. You two have a lot of history, huh? He asked casually. Kaler groaned. You have no idea. Salira smirked faintly, then focused on the canyon ahead. History is less important now than survival. Move swiftly and quietly. Aaron nodded. Agreed. The trio advanced carefully through the rocky terrain. Each step was measured, each breath synchronized. Patrols could appear at any moment. Kaler's condition was fragile, but together, human and aliens, they formed a force that no patrol could underestimate. And for the first time in weeks, the alien general allowed himself to hope. Not just for survival, but for a future where humans and Vrax could, in rare moments, act with mutual respect and understanding. Dawn barely touched the horizon, painting the canyon in streaks of cold orange light. Aaron carried Kaler steadily, muscles screaming with exhaustion, but neither of them spoke. The silence was heavy, a tense pause before inevitable conflict. Salira led the way, her violet eyes scanning for any sign of the Vrax patrols. She moved with lethal grace, every step calculated, every breath measured. For the first time, Aaron noticed the sheer power radiating from her. Not just strength, but command. 3 patrols in Sector 2, she whispered. They're closing in. Fast. Aaron adjusted the harness, glancing at the canyon floor. We can't outrun them, carrying Kaler. We have to fight strategically. Salira's hand brushed against his arm. A brief signal to hold. Wait and listen. Her sharp senses detected the faintest vibrations in the ground. A low hum rose from the ridge. Vrax drones emerged, their multi-jointed legs clicking against blackened stone. They moved in formation, scanning systematically. Kaler gritted his teeth. They have orders to finish me. Aaron tightened his jaw. Not today. Salira crouched behind a jagged rock. She extended a thin holographic panel from her wrist, activating cloaked minds along the patrol path. Her violet eyes glowed faintly as she manipulated the tech. Cover your left, she whispered to Aaron. The drones approached, unaware of the trap. Kaler's head lolled slightly. His strength was fading. Aaron readied his rifle, adrenaline coursing. The first patrol drone crested the ridge. Its scanning light passed dangerously close. Salira pressed a hidden trigger. The ground beneath the drone exploded in a flash of sparks and plasma, toppling it. Aaron fired rapidly, taking out the second drone with precise shots. Kaler winced at the vibrations, but Salira guided Aaron, shouting tactical commands. The third drone twisted and charged, sensing the ambush. Salira leapt forward with unmatched speed, her plasma blade cutting through the drone's reinforced armor. Sparks flew, and the drone collapsed in a heap. Aaron exhaled, checking Kaler. You okay? Kaler managed a weak nod. Better than expected, thanks to her. Salira turned, briefly meeting Kaler's gaze. You should conserve strength. There are more ahead. Aaron frowned. More. Her eyes narrowed. A full squad is approaching from the North Ridge. At least 6 heavily armed units. They will not hesitate. Kaler's chest rose and fell with labored breaths. We cannot outrun them. Salira's hand tightened on her blade. We won't. We fight, and we survive. Together. Aaron smirked faintly. I like your odds. The squad arrived sooner than expected. Dust and sand whirled around them as their armored exosuits reflected the dawn light. Aaron raised Kaler slightly for better aim, while Salira positioned herself on higher ground. With lightning speed, Salira attacked first. Her blade moved in a blur, slicing through the nearest unit before it even realized the danger. Sparks and smoke filled the air. Aaron fired from below, taking cover behind rocks, every shot precise, every movement calculated. Kaler, though weakened, tried to assist, aiming and firing with trembling hands, following Salira's directions. Salira leapt down from her perch, landing beside Aaron. Together, they formed a deadly triangle around Kaler, protecting him from every angle. Minutes stretched into eternity. The Vrax squad was relentless, but human determination and Salira's alien precision proved unstoppable. Finally, the last patrol unit fell. Silence returned, broken only by their labored breathing. Aaron slumped beside Kaler. That was close. Kaler, for the first time, managed a faint smile. I owe you both my life. Salira crouched beside him, her blade deactivating. You survive because of trust, Kaler, and because humans sometimes do the unexpected. Aaron rubbed his shoulder, wincing. Unexpected is what I do best. Kaler glanced at Salira. My people underestimated humans, and underestimated you, sister. Salira's violet eyes softened slightly. Perhaps it is time to rethink old beliefs. Aaron chuckled faintly. Well, history books are about to get rewritten, aren't they? Kaler nodded, exhaustion and gratitude mixing in his gaze. Yes, thanks to humans and a Vrax who sees differently. Salira looked at the horizon. We move at first light. There are more dangers ahead, but together we might just survive this world. Aaron tightened the harness once more. Then let's make sure we do. And for the first time in Kaler's long, brutal career, he felt hope. Hope born not just from survival, but from an unexpected alliance, from humans who could inspire honor, courage, and respect, even among aliens. The canyon fell silent after the battle. Smoke drifted slowly through the cold morning air, and the metallic scent of burned circuits still lingered around the shattered Vrax drones. Aaron stood still for a moment, listening. No movement. No distentum. Nothing. We can't stay here, he said quietly. More patrols will come. Salira nodded. Agreed. There's an old mining tunnel not far from here. It leads toward the northern flats. We can use it to avoid their scanners. Aaron tightened the harness around Kaler's chest. Kaler groaned softly, but said nothing. I'm slowing you down, Kaler muttered. Aaron shook his head. You're not slowing me down. You're the reason we're still moving. Kaler looked away, emotion flickering in his golden eyes. They moved quickly, keeping low among the jagged rocks. Salira led, silent as a shadow. Aaron followed, carrying Kaler's weight with sheer determination. Every step burned, but he refused to stop. After several minutes, they reached a narrow opening in the canyon wall. Rusted metal beams and broken machinery marked the entrance of an abandoned tunnel. This is it, Salira whispered. Inside, the tunnel was dark and damp. Faint blue crystals embedded in the walls gave off a soft glow, just enough to see. Their footsteps echoed quietly as they moved deeper. Kaler's breathing grew heavier. Salira knelt beside him. Your vitals are unstable. You are losing too much energy. Kaler forced a weak smile. Still alive, that's something. Aaron clenched his jaw. You're not dying in some alien cave. Not after all this. They reached a wider chamber where old mining equipment lay scattered like skeletons of forgotten machines. Suddenly, Salira froze. Her eyes narrowed. We are not alone, she whispered. Aaron raised his rifle. A deep, mechanical growl echoed through the tunnel. From the shadows, a massive Vrax hunter unit emerged, taller than the others, its armor thicker, its eyes glowing blood red. Kaler's breath caught. That's a Vrax executioner. They only send those for high-value targets. Aaron swallowed. So basically it's here for you. The executioner stepped forward, its heavy footsteps shaking the ground. Salira drew her blade. Aaron, take Kaler behind the machinery. I will distract it. No, Aron snapped. We fight it together. The executioner fired a pulse blast. Salira dodged instantly, but the shockwave threw her against the tunnel wall. Salira, Aaron shouted. The machine advanced toward her. Without thinking, Aaron stepped in front of it, raising his rifle and firing everything he had. The shots barely slowed it. The executioner grabbed Aaron and slammed him into the ground. His vision blurred. Kaylor screamed. Aaron! Salira forced herself up, her eyes burning with fury. She charged, driving her blade into the executioner's joint. Sparks exploded. The machine roared and flung her aside again. Kaylor dragged himself forward, pain tearing through his body. He picked up Aaron's fallen rifle with trembling hands. For humans, and for my sister, he whispered. He fired. The shot hit the executioner's damaged joint. The machine staggered. Aaron forced himself up, blood dripping from his forehead. He grabbed a plasma grenade from his belt. Hey, ugly, he shouted, throwing it straight into the executioner's open chest cavity. The explosion shook the entire tunnel. The executioner collapsed, twitching violently before going still. Silence. Aaron dropped to his knees. Salira rushed to him, gripping his shoulders. You are injured, she said urgently. He coughed and laughed weakly. I've been worse. Kaylor lay back against the rocks, barely conscious. We must move, Salira said. That explosion will bring every Vrax unit in this sector. Aaron nodded, forcing himself up again. He lifted Kaylor once more. They stumbled deeper into the tunnel, bodies exhausted, spirits barely holding together. After several minutes, they reached the end of the tunnel. A wide opening revealed the northern flats, an endless, frozen desert under a pale sky. Kaylor looked at the horizon. Freedom is so close. Suddenly, Salira stopped. Her eyes widened. Dozens of Vrax ships were descending from the clouds, surrounding the flats. Aaron's heart sank. Salira whispered, They have sealed the entire region. Kaylor closed his eyes. Then this is where it ends. Aaron tightened his grip on Kaylor. No, he said firmly. This is where humans do something stupid and win. Salira looked at him, something like awe in her eyes. And as the Vrax fleet closed in around them, their final stand was about to begin. The frozen flats trembled as Vrax ships descended from the clouds. Their engines howled like beasts of war, surrounding the canyon exit in a perfect iron circle. Aaron stood at the edge of the tunnel, Kaylor supported against his side. Salira stepped forward, her blade ignited, violet eyes glowing with defiance. They're sealing every escape route, Salira said quietly. Kaylor laughed weakly. Efficient. Ruthless. Very Vrax. Aaron looked at the sky, filled with enemy ships. So this is what being completely outnumbered feels like. The first dropship opened. Dozens of Vrax soldiers poured out, weapons raised, forming ranks across the ice. A massive figure stepped forward, larger than the others, draped in black armor marked with crimson symbols. Kaylor's breath caught. That's High Commander Drayek. He ordered my execution. Drayek's voice boomed through external speakers. Kaylor of House Varen, you have disgraced your kind. Surrender the human, and your death will be swift. Aaron snorted. Wow, these guys really hate me. Salira raised her blade. You will not take him, or my brother. Drayek turned his glowing eyes toward her. Salira, you betray your species for a primitive human. Salira's voice was calm but deadly. I choose honor over fear. Drayek raised his arm. Then you all die. The Vrax army advanced. Aaron exhaled slowly. Okay, last stand it is. He activated a small device on his wrist. Kaylor frowned. What are you doing? Aaron smiled faintly. Call on my family. A sharp beep echoed. Far above the planet, a hidden human stealth cruiser powered up. A calm female voice responded in Aaron's earpiece. Sergeant Aaron Cole. Signal received. We're locking onto your coordinates. Kaylor's eyes widened. You brought other humans? Aaron nodded. Rule number 1 about humans. We never travel alone. Drayek fired the first shot. The battle exploded. Salira charged like lightning, cutting down the front line. Aaron fired beside her, every shot deadly. Kaler, barely standing, took careful aim and fired when he could. The Vrak's forces kept coming. Explosions rocked the ice. Aaron was knocked to one knee. Salira dragged him back up. "Do not fall now, human," she said. He grinned through blood. Not planning to, Drayek stepped through the chaos, untouched. He grabbed Salira and slammed her into the ground. "Sister of Kaler weak," he growled. Aaron screamed and emptied his rifle into Drayek's chest. It barely scratched him. Kaler forced himself forward. "You were wrong about humans," he said. Drayek turned. Kaler triggered his remaining plasma charge and drove it into Drayek's armor. The explosion sent them both flying. Kaler hit the ice hard and went still. "Kaler!" Salira cried. Aaron crawled to him. Kaler opened his eyes faintly. "Worth it," he whispered. The sky suddenly roared. Brilliant blue streaks cut through the clouds. Human warships dropped out of hyperspace. Dozens of them. Their cannons fired. The Vrak's fleet erupted in fire. Drayek staggered, damaged and burning. Aaron stood up slowly. "Told you, humans never come alone." A human dropship slammed onto the ice behind them. Armed soldiers poured out. Drayek roared in rage as he was obliterated by a rail cannon blast. Silence fell over the battlefield. Human soldiers surrounded Aaron, Salira, and Kaler. A medic knelt beside Kaler. "He's alive." "Barely." Salira collapsed to her knees, relief flooding her face. Aaron looked at the burning wreckage of the Vrak's army. "This is why they fear humans," he said quietly. Salira looked at him with deep respect. "You're not weak. Your species is terrifying." Aaron laughed softly. "We prefer persistent." Kaler opened his eyes again. "Humans," he whispered, "are insane." Aaron squeezed his shoulder. "Yeah, and now you're one of us." High above, human and alien forces stared at each other across the battlefield. And the galaxy changed forever. The war was over. Weeks had passed since the Battle of the Northern Flats. The frozen desert was now silent again, its scars slowly fading beneath drifting snow. Burned wreckage had been cleared away, and the sky above was once more peaceful. Kaler lay in a medical chamber aboard the human flagship. Soft blue lights glowed above him as alien and human machines worked together to heal his shattered body. His eyes slowly opened. The first thing he saw was Salira sitting beside his bed. Her violet eyes were tired, but full of relief. "You are awake," she whispered. Kaler tried to speak. His voice came out weak. "I thought I was dead." Salira let out a shaky laugh. "You nearly were. Humans are very stubborn healers." Kaler turned his head slightly. "Where is the human?" As if summoned by his words, the door slid open. Aaron stepped inside, his arms still in a sling, a fresh scar running across his forehead. "Well," Aaron said with a grin, "looks like you're still hard to kill." Kaler's eyes widened. "You stayed?" Aaron nodded. "Didn't feel right leaving my favorite alien behind." Kaler's golden eyes filled with emotion. "You saved my life. Twice." Aaron shrugged lightly. "Guess that makes us even." Salira stood up. "You are both impossible," she said softly. They shared a quiet moment. Outside the chamber, history was being written. In the grand hall of the flagship, human admirals and alien leaders stood facing each other. Massive holographic banners floated above them. For the first time in recorded history, humans and the Varen alien race signed a formal peace and alliance treaty. A human admiral spoke clearly. "Today, we recognize the courage of Kaler of House Varen and the sacrifice of Sergeant Aaron Cole. This alliance marks the beginning of a new era." The alien council leader stepped forward. "Humans have shown us something our galaxy forgot. Honor, loyalty, and mercy." The treaty was signed. The war between humans and the Vrax Empire officially ended. Days later, Kaler stood on the observation deck, supported by a light exosuit. He stared at Earth for the first time through the massive viewport. A fragile world, he said quietly. Aaron stood beside him. Yeah, but it raised some stubborn people. Salira joined them. Your people changed the galaxy, she said to Aaron. He shook his head. No, we just refused to abandon a friend. Kaler turned toward him. You defied an empire for me. Aaron met his gaze. Humans don't leave their own behind. Not on Earth. Not on alien worlds. Kaler bowed his head deeply. Then my life belongs to your people as much as to my own. Months later, a joint human-alien task force patrolled the outer systems. Their flagship carried a new emblem. A human eagle intertwined with a Varen crest. Aaron now served as a special liaison officer between humans and alien forces. Salira became commander of the first mixed-species combat unit. And Kaler became a symbol. The alien warrior who survived. The proof that humans were not just destroyers of worlds, but guardians of allies. On distant worlds, stories spread. Of a human soldier who refused to abandon a dying alien. Of an alien sister who chose honor over fear. Of a galaxy that learned too late. Never underestimate humanity. And somewhere among the stars, a quiet truth echoed. When humans choose to stand with you, they will stand with you until the end of the universe. High above the peaceful stars, far beyond human space. Something ancient awakened. A massive shadow moved inside a dying red nebula. Alien structures older than any civilization began to glow. A cold, mechanical voice echoed through the void. The humans have entered the galactic stage. They have formed alliances. They have disrupted the balance. Another voice replied, deeper and darker. Then, they must be tested. A colossal fleet of unknown warships powered on, their hulls carved with symbols no living race could read. The red nebula trembled as the fleet began to move. Toward human space. Toward Earth. Toward the new human-alien alliance. And far away, on the human flagship, Aaron stood beside Salira and Kaler, staring into the stars. He felt a strange chill run through him. I don't know why, he said quietly, but I feel like this war wasn't the end. Salira's violet eyes narrowed. The universe just became very quiet, she whispered. Kaler clenched his fist. And that usually means something terrible is coming. The stars outside flickered. Somewhere in the darkness, something was watching them, waiting, preparing. This was only the beginning. To be continued in Season 2.